Disclaimer, this video is completely theoretical and it's not the objective truth because of the lack of scientific studies done on this subject. So if you don't like what I say in this video, you can give your own explanation down in the comment section. The rise of the Korean man in the West these last 8 to 7 years has been unprecedented in Western media history. You can see why teenage girls thirsting for them non-stop and ready to defend them with their lives. But what is the secret behind this rise in popularity? Their faces lack the masculinity of the Western man with the wider jaws, beards and piercing eyes. They lack the physicality, they are not as well built, sometimes they might even lack the height. Their faces are feminized, they wear makeup, painted nails with flashy outfits. Hey, to each their own, I'm not the one to judge. We will today try and see the many cases that will explain this new fetish that came with BTS and Korean actors. We will first look at the female gaze, second, the facial attractiveness of the Korean man, and third, my opinion and me trying to stitch this up. If you want to support the channel and get your face evaluated by me with personalized look marks and advice, link will be down in the description. Without further ado, let's get this video started. So before we talk about the female gaze, we need to talk first about the male gaze so that we can get a solid foundation of what we are talking about here. The male gaze in simple man's terms means how women are viewed and represented in the media from the male perspective. Most directors in Hollywood are men, well, a few years back at least. And when women are represented in these movies that are targeted toward men, they are hypersexualized, submissive, and their clothing don't leave much for the imagination. Okay, so that is an example of the male gaze. Well, what about the female gaze then? You see, the female gaze is a fairly new concept that just started to get popularized in the last 2 to 4 years. So unlike the male gaze, it did not get the time to get fully fleshed out. The female gaze can be used to represent basically the female experience. This range from what female desires in men physically and emotionally to female suffering in the workplace, school, or in a social environment. So this means the female gaze can look like this, through sexualizing the male body by showing you a lean, well-built hunk of a man on screen. Or it can be, for example, like Twilight, where the female lead Bella is being fought over by a hot multi-millionaire vampire who killed many people and a fucking werewolf. Or it can also mean a soft-looking man who is in touch with his emotional side, just like in The Notebook. Now with the case of K-pop and Korean actors, they came just in the right time where soft men in looks and emotions were rising in popularity. Asians in the big screen were no longer portrayed as the funny losers with no game. Now attractive Korean actors are used in respectable roles where they have a lot of emotional depth appealing to the female gaze. And the K-pop stars are also portrayed in the same light. They are the soft, emotional type and all the good things that appeal to the female gaze. Women fantasize about living a romantic dream with these guys, but not with Giga Chad. I think you guys know what I mean. Keep in mind that I can be wrong, because the female gaze is a fresh concept, so don't at me. Well, what about face-wise? What makes them appealing in terms of facial attractiveness? Is there some sort of difference? Well, let's move on to the next section of the video. Now, in terms of the facial attractiveness of K-pop stars, it's interesting because it's like the reverse of what makes men attractive and falls more in line of what makes women attractive. For example, let's take a look at a few images that I stole from Google and let's analyze them. For the lower third, it's interesting. As you guys see, it's not wide. I don't have the side profile of this guy right here, but I would suspect that his gonio angle is steeper or falls more in line with the feminine gonio angle. And his ramus is not really that long, which will not result in that bulky, masculine and well-developed side profile. But I do have a side profile of another K-pop singer which proves what I just said. Let's look at it. As you guys see here, his ramus is average and his gonio angle is steeper, resulting in a more feminized side profile. This does not fall in line with what is considered attractive for white people. For example, if we look at Henry Cavill or Johnny Depp, their bigonial width is much wider and their ram eyes are much longer. Their gonio angle is much more masculine. The K-pop singer we have also have a smaller feminine upturned nose. Their facial width to height ratio is not compact, resulting in a high thrust face. The cheekbones are not that horizontally grown, which will result in that OG curve. The eyes for most Asians are not deeper set and their brow ridge are not pronounced like Caucasian, which results in a softer face. So these singers score higher on feminizing features and score high on symmetry, skin, eyebrows, hair, and hairstyles. As for the eyes, they also score well on it because you don't see puffy lower eyelids or darkened under eye areas. But does this mean women like just the feminized one? No, women loved even the slightly more masculine one. Just like the example we have here, this guy's jaw is wider, the eyes are more aggressive than the last one, and his cheekbones are also more pronounced. For the example, the actor Gong-hoo, his lower third and face shape are highly masculine, and they still thirsted for him non-stop. So as long as there's no major flaw and they score well on other features, seems like Hollywood fetish with Korean men and their rise in popularity with K-pop and Korean flicks gave them the flexibility to look attractive at different points in their masculinity scale. Funny thing is that most soft boys still look more masculine than most K-pop stars. Now, what do I think? Are Korean men the new law for attractiveness, and is it over for the West? No, you see, attractive people are attractive despite of race. Anyone who knows women and been with them for a long time knows that their taste does change. Many women, for example, who simped for K-pop in their teen years, their taste shifted in their early 20s to white soft boys or more masculine men. I've seen this shift take place many times, and I'm sure you did as well. This attraction can also take place toward attractive mixed race men, so you see the female gaze is ridiculously hard to pinpoint. This rise of Korean men is a mix of female gaze, rise of Korean flicks and K-pop, and the shift of how the Asian man is portrayed in Hollywood. Add to this the rise of the acceptance and popularity of the Western soft boys. These paved the way for this change to happen. But I can be wrong. Also keep in mind that the average Korean man does not look like these guys that I showed on screen earlier. These are their top guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A like and subscribe will be highly appreciated. And like usual, catch you guys in the next one.